Okay. Okay, can everybody hear me?
Michael, can you hear us?
Sorry for the late start. There's some technical issues. Hello? Michael, I see you're on. Can you hear me? Good. So, you're going to be doing the, what do you want me to do? Okay, good. So, today we'll be discussing growing your database. It's going to be a very interesting topic about how to deal with your database and grow it. It's a very important class for, people who want to get more business or grow their business and how they should handle the leads when they get. So, let's go to the next slide. Okay, the framework where we are. Michael, this is your third session with us, or second session, or third? Okay, good. I had a feeling. Good. So, just to refresh your memory, we've been the entire course overview for Ignite is, as I mention every time, I like to refresh the memory of everybody. It's 4 segments: to becoming a real estate expert of choice. And then we dig into the lead generation, lead follow-up, and then the transaction for your business. We already finished the first segment, so technically now, all those who attended the first 4 classes of Ignite should have all the tools and models they need in order to become a real estate expert of choice. And why is that important? Because everybody can be a real estate agent, but not can anybody be a real estate expert. And it's important to be a real estate expert of choice through many things, using the KW brand and spark your career, knowing the core competencies for your business to embrace your job, connect your market, know your numbers of the market, and at the same time, build your expertise. And most important, in the 4th class, we learned how to define your value. What is your value proposition that you offer to your client? And that answers a very important question, which you will be asked, which is, why should I work with you and not with the other agent? So you got to tell them a value proposition that is strong, that is concise, and tells them all the value and benefits you will be offering to that client. And then we started the second segment last class on Tuesday, generate your leads. And we took an introduction about generating your leads. And we took a quick look at what a database would look like. Now we're going to continue on and grow your database. Okay? Today's agenda, we're going to talk about a smart data bank. Notice how we're talking about a smart data bank. So what would that mean? Because we already know about database. What's a smart data bank? We're going to understand it a little bit. We're going to talk about build your database, feed your database, communicate with your database, service your database, and then the recaps. That's our agenda for today, and let's dive in. There's a quote from Gary Keller from his book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agents. Your database is your business. Building up the number of names in it and the relationship with those names is really at very core of what building a real estate business is all about. So, in simple words, your database will determine how much business you're going to make. So, your first step, of course, is to build that database and grow it and treat it in a smart way. We're going to go through that today. And it's very important if you want to have a successful business, if you want to have a big business, is you take care of that database. And we're going to see that we're going to need to constantly build it and constantly add new leads and contacts to it. So let's go to the first item on our agenda, a smart data bank. And as we can see, our database is filled with, we talked about that last time. So first of all, where do we get, what's the first thing we need to put in our database in command? Okay, but I mean, yeah, but what type of leads do we have to put first? Let's say someone doesn't have any leads. I just started real estate a week ago. I don't have any leads. Okay, yep. Friends and family, sphere of influence. Your contacts on your phone. Go through them and upload them to command. I wonder, is that my car?
Is that an alarm? A car alarm? That's not my car. Oh, there.
Okay. Sorry about that. I just saw my car alarm going. Michael, you're still with us? I guess just make sure the trunk is not open as well. Thank you. So database defined. We took a look last time about what a database would look like. It looks like a cylinder. It looks like a container. And this container, we have like 4 steps to that container. First, we do a lead capture through either prospecting and marketing. And then when we capture the lead, and the definition of lead capture is we put in the information of, the buyer lead or the seller lead we have. We put the name, we put the email, and, the cell phone, whatever information we can get. There is no information that's too much information. As much information as you can put in. The second thing is after you put that information inside, then you have 2 types of information inside: leads and contacts. Leads is some form of potential buyer or seller you can work with, but you only haven't established a relationship with yet. Was it my car? It wasn't my car. Okay. Thank you very much there. Oh yeah, here we go. So leads, you haven't established a relationship. You're still working with that person and you're trying to make him transfer him into a contact. Contact is a person whom you established a relationship with, and at the same time you have permission to send emails, send market updates, follow up with him in case he wants to buy or sell. But a lead is not there yet. A lead is someone who for example, you met in an open house and he may be interested or maybe not, and then you're trying to convert him into a contact. We're going to get to that in detail. And all this is handled, what's going on here is called relationship management. So when we transfer a lead into a contact, when we establish that relationship, we try to cultivate on that contact such that we can later on convert him into an actual client that goes into escrow, whether a seller, you list with him his home to sell, or a buyer, you submit an offer for him and open escrow. And then when the transaction closes, we go into the client referral loop. The transaction doesn't end there, as you know. You follow up with that client whom you close the deal with so that he either, gives you further referrals or does repeat business with you. Is that, model clear? Is that diagram clear, guys? Clear? Michael, you're good? Okay. If you have any questions, Michael, you can just unmute yourself and ask the question because I'm not able to see if you have any questions in the chat, okay? Welcome. And feel free to stop me at any time if something I say doesn't make sense or you want me to reiterate on it or go further deeper in it, okay? All right, now let's talk about command. Command is your integrated end-to-end killer cloud platform for running and growing your business. So, as I mentioned, we should start putting, our contacts. Before that, let's just check it out. Into command, okay? So there are several methods you can use in order to put your, the contacts from your phone to command, because that's the first piece of information we need to put on command, or the contacts that we have. Because we haven't, I'm assuming, forget about how much, we're just going to assume that you started real estate only 1 week ago and you're still feeding command right now. So the first thing you're going to put into command is, the contacts you have on your phone. And remember how we discussed last time how we categorize them as family, friends, co-workers, past co-workers, some are friends from school, church groups, whatever, we categorize them into whatever we have on our phone when we want to feed that to the database. So there's different ways we can feed commands, okay? First one is we can put all those contacts manually. That's one way to do it. Or second method, which is we can sync the contacts in command from a third-party systems like Google Contacts or iClouds. Third, import contacts into commands using an import templates or export template from another system. So these are the three methods we can use in order to import our contacts into command, because we want to get started in building that database. Sometimes when we, go into real estate and it's all about lead generation. It is all about lead generation, but we have to be organized. We have to have a plan, and the plan is building a database. Because when we have a database, we're organized. We're able to follow up with the leads we have and the contacts we have and build a relationship and cultivate and nurture, such that when one of those contacts is ready to buy or sell, they will contact us. But if we lead generate and we write it on a piece of paper and we throw the piece of paper on our desk and then we forget about them or put them on our phone and we have already like 500 numbers, we're going to forget about that person. You may think you're going to remember, but you're going to forget. Trust me. So the best way is to put it on our database. Trust me. That's the first step you need to do. Okay? Now we can go to the next one. Now for the database, by the way, that's not my my slides. No, it's okay. It's all right. Don't worry. It's okay. It's all right. Don't worry. So there are 4 laws about using a database, guys. So now that we know that we need to import our contacts into the phone, there is 4 laws. So what are those 4 laws? First of all, number 1, build a database. Number 2, feed it every day. Number 3, communicate systematically. Number 4, service all leads. Okay? So these are the most important 4 laws you're going to be using in order to have a successful database. And we're going to go into each one of those in detail. Let's go to the first one. So build your database. Okay. So at a minimum, when you build your database, you're putting in a contact. At a minimum, you need to put a name, and you need to have a cell phone and an email. Okay, so the name and the contact information is the cell phone and email. And if there is past business record, if you bought or sold with him before, or if he was, whatever history you have with that leads. And if you don't have a leads history with that person, put in the source of how you got the lead. Like, I got that lead from an open house. I got that referral from a friend. This is important later on when we do tagging. We're going to get to that, okay? So that's the first thing when you're going to do when you build the data. The first law, build the database, that's what you need to do. Just put important information. These are the minimum information you can put. Of course, the more you put for a contact in command, the merrier. Because the more information you can, the more personal information, like if he's, example, a dog lover, if he is an engineer, if he is, if he likes traveling, if whatever information, if he has kids, if he's gonna have a baby, so whatever you can put in there, his birthday, whatever you can do, put it in. Second one, so here's what it looks like in command. So this screen here will tell us what to expect when you put it into command. So you'll have on top, as you can see on the screen, the name of your contact. You mark it as a leads. And it says they have here no neighborhood and Jennifer's contact, for example. So you could put, if like, for example, let's say his neighborhood is Rancho Palos Verdes. You put Rancho Palos Verdes. So that's what part of Rancho Palos Verdes. It would be good if you can be specific. And why do you need to be specific? Not Rancho Palos Verdes is vague. It has like a lot of MLS areas, a lot of neighborhoods. Is it like, for example, Eastview? Is it Crests? Is it Country Club? Is it West Palos Verdes? Is it PV Drive North, PV Drive South? Where is it? So put the specific MLS area or neighborhood to know his neighborhood. Why is that important? I'm going to get to that in a few slides. But it's important if you can put specific tags, it will make a difference. We're going to put a cell phone, we're going to put an email, and we put the lead source. It's important to know where the lead source is, because later on, Before I tell you where the lead source is important, why do you think a lead source is important? I want to hear your thoughts.
Why do you think it's important?
To have a lead source.
A lead source?
To say where we got the lead. Okay, good organization, but how is that going to help us?
To task yourself on a specific lead once it's into command, because we will forget, or add reminders to your task to your cell phone.
That's good. That's a good reason. That's a good reason. And another reason also is to see where your business is coming mainly from. If we see where it's coming from, is it coming more from open house, from a cold call, from a referral, from a specific sphere of influence, we will be able to see. So that's where my main business is coming from. So I have to focus more. Remember what we learned in session 1? Commit to the 20-80 principle. 20% of our work gets us 80% of our results. 20% of our action get us 80% of our results. So let's see where that 20% of our action is coming from, so we can work less and put our efforts more into something else. You know what I mean? So that's why it's important. But see, as you can see, its command is well designed in order to have all these things. Okay, let's go to all right. So there is recommended training for commands. Okay, check out command to your database on Connect. Find under technology. You're going to find it under technology. Of course, when you go to Connect and command, they'll go beside each other when you sign into command. So Connect, you will have a lot of training videos that would show you how to use commands and how to specifically deal with certain areas in command. So whatever topic you want to look at in command, type it in Connect, and you will have a training video for it. So you need to build your command database and manage your contacts, deliver neighborhood-level insights to your contacts, systemize your touch campaigns and more with smart plans, and customize and manage your smart plans. Okay. Ahas or questions so far? Everything good? Okay. Next slide. So next law is feed your database. So what do you think feed your database means?
Just open up your command.
Okay.
Go over your task, or if not, enter more. You gotta do something.
Yeah, feed to be specific is enter more leads inside. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Enter more leads.
Exactly.
Like you're feeding it.
Exactly, feeding more. Yeah. Exactly. Input. Exactly. So what could be the sources of feeding commands? How would I get leads? Farming, exactly.
Networking.
Yeah. So prospecting or marketing. Okay, very good. The two main things we know in the lead capture to get there. So whenever you, as I mentioned, our main job as real estate agents, we always have to constantly be lead generating every day. No matter how successful you are, no matter how many transactions, you always want to grow your business. Don't say, I have enough business, I'm not going to lead generate today. That's wrong, because eventually it will dry out. Even if you're getting referrals from people, eventually it will dry out. So it's always good to have something on the pipeline. So always be constantly feeding your database. And you'll be feeding either from the prospecting you do with all its different categories, door knocking, cold calling, open houses, social media, however you want to go and prospect. And marketing, and what I mentioned about marketing is the problem with marketing is it's costly. And I know it's time effective, but it's expensive. But prospecting is cost effective, but it's time consuming. Okay? So we need to feed it every day, as I mentioned, the second law, by prospecting and marketing, as I just mentioned. The value of your sphere. Your sphere will generate new repeats or referral business. So that's what a good database should do. It should always do that. The new business will come from your constant lead generation that you do every day, that we just discussed, okay? The repeat business will come by following up on your database from our past clients. So they bought a house with you, they sold a house with you, they would want to do business with you as long as we're following up on our database. The referral business will also come from our sphere, because let's say I'm calling a past client or one of my sphere. Are you thinking of selling or buying? No, not at the moment at all, maybe in 2 years or something. Do you know anybody who wants to sell buy? You know what? I have my cousin, he's thinking of selling. I have my coworker, I heard him think he was buying. So that's when you get the referral business. But you always constantly have to follow up with them. That's why it's called the client referral loop, because it's constant. You're always going to keep on following. So how often or frequent, or to what time do we keep doing that client referral loop or following up with our database?
Until they want to buy, sell, or say remove me off the list.
Yeah. Yeah. In other words,
Let them say, you know what? Just remove me.
Yeah. In other words.
Keep doing it, right? Oh, no.
Yeah. In other words, yeah, until you retire. Yeah. One of the good things about a database, if you have a successful database, when you retire, you can actually sell that database and make money off of it. When you retire, yeah. Some people do that. So that's one of the benefits of having a database. And it also keeps you organized and, and it's much better lead generating through your database than just cold calling. Some people are good at cold calling. I'm not one of the people who are good at cold calling, Yeah. So, but when you lead with your database, is people you already know, either past clients or someone who you made contact with, who's giving you permission to contact them. So you're always going to feel comfortable talking. What's the worst thing he's going? I don't know anybody. It's okay, but he's not going to hang up in your face. Stop bothering me.
Find your niche.
Yes.
I'm a networker. I belong to different organizations.
That's very good.
And I do charity work. So each year, from each charity that I work with,
yeah,
I probably generate 3 listings.
That's great. Yeah, you see what you heard what Maggie said? She's in many organizations and charities. Remember how I said last time in lead generation in the class, I mentioned join groups, be part of different things.
Yeah.
You're going to get work and get more people, and we're going to lead generate more. So now her job is easy. All these leads she got and who she transferred into contacts and eventually clients, she has a lot of past clients. All she has to do is just keep following up with them. Very easy task. So our business is actually a relationship business, and it's a people business. So if you're not good talking to people, you're going to find a hard time succeeding in real estate. So it's all about connections and talking to people. It's a people skill, try to offer services and, So next slide. Your sphere will generate new, repeat, and referral business. We discussed that. And now, testimonials and reviews. Always try to get testimonials and reviews from your past clients, okay? So why is that important? From your point of view?
Because they're speaking on your behalf.
Yeah.
I mean, that's number one.
Credibility.
Yeah, exactly. So whenever you run into a lead, whether it was a buyer or a seller, and you give him your business card, and he's considering you to sell his house or to buy a house, 99% he's going to look you up. He's going to Google you and see how you are. So he'll be comfortable when he sees those 5 stars. He's going to be comfortable. Another way you can use the testimonial is you can share it on social media. People say, "Oh, look, then she must be good. Then I'm going to work with her." So that's another way you can use testimonial. And if you get a testimonial, let's say you got a testimonial from somebody, what is the first thing you should do? Once you get a testimonial from one of your clients, yeah. You said respond?
Respond to it.
Good job, yes.
Respond to it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I always do a little follow-up hotline. I'm from old school 25 years ago, so what we do normally is we'll get a little gift, a little bag of cookies with a little note on there. Thank you for your testimonial. Thank you for that.
That's very good.
Keep drinking coffee, thinking about me.
Very good, very good. So what Maggie said exactly, she would respond on the review, send a thank you gifts, and call in person and say thank you so much and show appreciation, because people, appreciation goes a long way and a thank you goes a long way. Some people, just do something nice and just the other person takes it for granted, but when you say thank you, okay, there is appreciation here. So it's a good thing to reward the behavior that happened. And another thing, if a professional gives you a review, let's say someone who's an insurance agent gives you a review, it's a good idea to reciprocate and give a review to that person to show your appreciation, even if you didn't do business with them, but just to show him, you gave me a good review, I'm going to give you a good review. I know a question you might be thinking of, Michael. Michael, you're new to real estate, right? Michael? So you probably don't have any reviews yet. So you're probably wondering, what am I going to do? I don't even have past clients yet. It's no problem. Find any of your sphere who is close to you, whether it was a cousin or a friend. Let him write a review for you. It doesn't have to be, that he helped me buy a house. He's very professional. Has attention to detail. He's a hard worker. He was giving me real estate consultation about doing this and that, and he did a great job, So you can still get reviews even if you don't have past clients. So start working on that, with someone whom you trust.
Even an associate agent.
Yeah.
Mentor.
Yeah, exactly. So Michael, you can do that. So last thing I want to say about the testimonial before we read that, if you had a bad experience with a client for some reason and it wasn't your fault, and it's going to happen, by the way. Sometimes you're going to run into clients who are, nothing satisfies them, or they find a problem with the house that wasn't your fault. So I wouldn't recommend sending them to write a review, because they might say, he did a good job, but I think he deserves a 3 out of 5. So don't send a review for somebody whom you're not sure is going to give you a 5. Okay? All right, next slide. So this also is for you as well, Michael. What areas of business or customer service could you ask someone to provide a testimonial review on? It could be responsiveness, that you're very responsive. You have attention to detail, professionalism, empathy, clear communication. Any other point, just tell them, say how this about you. And yeah, so you can have 5 friends of yours, each one write on one of those categories. That's a very simple thing. Okay? So use that as something to get you started. Next slide. Ahas or questions? No more questions? Okay, next slide. Gary Keller says, another quote in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, to succeed at a high level in real estate sales, you must commit to frequent contact with the database with the intent of building close relationships. So always, as you're calling your sphere of influence in the database, your database in general, the main intention that you have in mind is building a stronger relationship. You might think you already have a relationship, but people tend to forget. You always gotta build the relationship more. Even if you're calling and he's not going to sell or buy, just offer, you have any real estate question, by the way, here is a market update about your neighborhood, whatever. Try to offer him any kind of value, and I'm going to go get into that in a little bit. So always try the objective of your call to every person in your database is to build a stronger relationship. Okay, that's the objective. It's not just to get a sale or a lead out of it. It's okay, you may not get anything, but the relationship will stand. So when something comes up for that person, he's going to remember you. Okay? Law number 3, communicate systematically. Segment your database on interest, passion, etc. So what does that mean? So remember how we categorized our contacts on our phone before we imported those contacts on command. You remember that, okay? We said, for example, family, friends, relatives, co-workers, school, professionals, attorneys, whatever. We had those. We want to segment it to a higher level. Can you believe that? That's not enough. If we segment it to a higher level, and I'll show you why right now. It's not enough to do it by that. We got to go into deeper levels. One of the main things we want to segment by, for example, is this person a homeowner or is he a renter? That's very important. Because if we're going to use a smart campaign and we're going to email blast all our database, and let's say the email blast is information about property tax, would that information help a renter? No.
Well, no.
No, it's not going to help him because he's renting. He doesn't care about property tax. But if you're a homeowner, you're going to care. Okay? So always think of categorizing. And you can have, by the way, many tags on command. It doesn't have to be like, you can have like 15 different tags on one person. So when you want to send an email blast about something, a particular subject, you will be filtering by those tags. So always like see who's a dog lover, who has children, who's a renter, who is living in a certain neighborhood, who's a homeowner, who's been living in his home for like over 7 years, stuff like that. Next slide.
I also heard like depending on your hobbies, like surfers.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. That's actually a very good point. If he's a golfer, for example. Exactly. Yeah. And I'm gonna see why in a second right now. So let's see, for example. Let's say he's VIP, he's golf, military, investor, referral, dog lovers. Let's say we segment based on that. How can we take advantage of this segment or this categorization or this tagging to our benefit as we are doing a smart campaign on our command? We're going to see in a second. Let's see. So, we need to communicate with value. What value means is something that offers value to the person who's going to receive it, and at the same time, it has to be relevant to one of his interests. So for example, if it's a golf, it's like there is a golf event that's happening nearby. It will go all to the golfers. There's a baseball event happening, or a softball, whatever, to all those people who's interested in softball. There is a new school event for middle school. You're going to send it to all the people who has children in a particular neighborhood. So anyway, when you communicate with values, for leads, there's like 19 touches you need to make to connect, okay? 19 touches to connect in order for them to become contacts. 4 touches, that means a quarterly phone call. That means at least every 3 months you give them a phone call. It's not enough you send them emails. 12 touches is a monthly email, which will be a newsletter, market report, video. So remember when I was mentioning we need to segment to a certain detail to find out if he's a homeowner or he's a renter, if he's a dog lover, if he has children, if he whatever. So that monthly email newsletter, we can, always program it to be based on the needs of that particular person when you do the smart campaign. So it will be relevant to him. So he doesn't, it's going to be junk email. But it's something relevant. If you're sending golf to someone who loves golf, it will be relevant. He's going to want to read it, If you're talking about schools to someone who has kids, he's going to want to read it, If there's a dog lover and there is vaccines information for dogs, he's going to want to read it, 2 touches, promotional direct mail, such as magnet, calendar, printed market report. That's 2 touches. That's like every 6 months. And then 1 touch, an annual event, a party, movie screening, getting together. So you try to meet with that person. So through these 19 touches, you have a chance of converting the lead into a contact. And in order to cement it, you have a high value touch that solidifies the relationship you have just established and opens the door for future interactions. That could be through a gift or something, That's one high value touch. The contacts is 36 touches to convert. And when I mean converts, that means he's actually buying and selling with you. 4 touches, again, 4 calls. That means every 3 months you make a call. 26 touches, bi-weekly email. Because he's a contact now. He has, you're in a relationship with him. So you can send them bi-weekly emails offering some type of information of value to the customer. So notice how it says some type of information of value to the customer. It has to be relevant to his hobbies or needs, as I mentioned, okay? 2 touches, events, get-together, parties. And then 4 touches, promotional, direct mail, such as magnet, calendar, or market report. These are the 36 touches every year you need to do by contacts. And we notice here it takes like 19 touches a year for leads and 36 touches a year on contacts. That's the estimate for this conversion to happen. It does take time. Sometimes you're going to get quicker results, but you got to be patient. You can't quit early. You got to be patient, especially if you're new to the business. Okay? Yeah. Sometimes I'm not getting results. It's not working for me. Now, we discussed before that database that we said a data bank, and we wondered what the data bank was because we were used to the term of database. So a database is the database we all know of, that has a list of names and numbers and emails. That's a database. A smart database is a database that's organized in a way, segmented, has personal notes, so you can always filter based on the value you want to communicate to your database. But if you just have like 500 persons in your database and you don't know which is the renter, which is the homeowner, then it's not a smart database. And of course, command helps you make a smart database. And a higher level of smart database is a data bank where you actually have all the notes and all the information you need, and you have a smart plan in place. And all this can be done through, as I mentioned, notice here in command it says smart plans. And all this can be done through commands. So, and it's coming to us for free. You're not paying for commands. It's already included in our monthly technology fees. So you're not paying anything. Why go buy a CRM software when you already have a great one, an awesome one that does everything for you? That's one of the benefits of working with Keller Williams. One of the many benefits. Any questions or ahas so far?
I'm actually looking into what you were saying. I'm like, oh, I have 62 people.
Okay, good.
On a smart plan.
Good. That's good.
And I only have 191.
Okay. Any responded so far? No, it's okay. It's okay. When did you start?
On that page,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Let me check how many I have. I go figure out, what? Like, I don't see.
Yeah, imagine if you.
Total touches 5. I see it on the thing, but is that all I'm supposed to be seeing?
Total touches?
Yeah, like see how this, but then what?
Well, that's so far the total touches. When did you start your smart campaign? Recently? Okay, that's because it's recently. So remember, it takes it, like, for example, depends on the touch. There's a touch that happens in email every month, for example, a phone call every 3 months. Just remember when you do the phone call to update that you made the phone call. Okay. Yeah, put notes, exactly. Always keep notes, guys. Very important to keep notes, because maybe when you're making the phone call, something new comes up. I'm having a baby next month. Oh, you gotta put that. Or I already had a baby and his name is Matthew, for example. Okay, so put a name, Matthew. It'd be a good idea if I send some kind of gifts, stuff like that. Next slide. Service your database. That is law number 4 in the laws of database. So if we go to the quote by Gary, your job is to build a community and serve the community. Okay. Always think of your database as a community. Okay. And your job is to service that community. Okay. If you put service as first priority when you're communicating with your database, you are going to get business out of them. Okay. Always think of that. Always be servicing them, calling them with the intent to service, to intent to provide value, and they will notice. They will notice if you're calling, he's probably has no business and he's trying to get something. Even sometimes it happens from friends, they think, because the real estate market is tough right now. Or he's probably desperate, or she's probably desperate, So some think that, but some not. But if you're just offering services, you're sounding, anybody I can help, that's fine. And by the way, and this is something not in the curriculum, if someone asks you how things are going great. Don't say, oh, it's been like 6 months and I haven't had a transaction. Don't say that. Don't say anything negative about your business.
Keep it to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is great. I'm working with clients, and because when he thinks that, oh my God, I was thinking of selling his house, but no, I need someone who's hot right now. And it would happen from the closest friends, the closest neighbors. People want to work with somebody they trust and with someone who they feel that who's competent and has experience as well. So never say something negative about your business or a bad experience you had with a client to one of your other clients. You know. So service all your leads, plan for a lead follow-up program to leverage every opportunity. And we're going to be discussing lead follow-up program in detail in session 10, lead follow-up. Okay, we're right now in session 6, as you know, so we're going to be working on that in session 10. Next slide. Service all your lead opportunities, campaigns, and consumer. So that shows you where the opportunities are, on the commands. And the opportunities, by the way, you'll be able to pull opportunities by always feeding from your contacts that you put on top, which is the second one under the homepage. And then the campaigns. When you go to campaigns, then you can select the smart campaign, for example. And then the consumer. Okay? Next.
I have a question on the slide.
Which one? The prior one? Okay. Go ahead.
So for the buyers, example, I have a buyer that's in there,
Mhm.
but why it shows 0 activity? If it's in there and he's in the process of getting pre-approved, you know what I mean? Like he's in there, but why do I see 0?
That's a good point.
It shows. Wait a minute, I have 1 in there. Why?
Yeah, I know. I have 2 in there as well. This part I never did look to see how it's updated.
Is that the John question?
That's a John question or a Grant question.
Okay.
They would know. I never did pay attention to that because it's not part of my business strategy. I don't care about that part, how it shows progress here, because that's not what I use. I use it just the command database, but I don't use that part. But it's a good question.
Maybe it's for a team, but still, it's like.
Yeah, I know. It should gives you
Agent,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Process.
Yeah. One of the great things about Command is it's a goal tracker. It will tell you how much you achieved through your goal. Like if you had a business plan, the 411 business plan, for example, it will show you what's the progress you've been doing. It will also, it's supposed to say, to answer your question about the task, how much you made progress on a task that you inserted in Command. But for the cultivate, appointment, active, and under contract, this part we need to look. We can easily go into Connect and find out how this should be updated. But for this part, it's just not. It doesn't add value to me to know it right now because it doesn't get me more leads and it doesn't, But it's good to know. But this part is I don't know. We can always check with John on that. But it's a good question. Yeah, I know. I never did even.
Button to create an opportunity. We have to click create an opportunity in order to enter the information, and then it'll show because it has an option for that, but I haven't done that.
I know it does. I know, and sometimes when I close my transaction and the transaction gets approved by the office, it doesn't show here. I don't know, but it's a good question. We should talk about John about that, and he will tell us. But it's a good point. It's a good point.
It's a better way for us to know, like you said, target goal, GCI goal, whatever the case may be. This is our one-stop CRM.
Yeah, but already, I don't see how much value it would tell us if it's already active or is it under contract when you already know you closed the transaction or you're in escrow.
Or the process, like an example, like a buyer, okay? Now we did the appointment. Now he's currently active.
Yes.
And now he's under contract.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, and it shows 0, 0, 0.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Just
okay. No, it's a good question. We'll ask John about it. Yeah. Next one. Any questions so far or ahas, guys? That was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah. Okay. Next slide. Oh, okay. That's it. All right.
Oh my God.
All right. Next time we're going to be discussing leads from an open house. Okay, so it'll be an interesting lesson. Yeah, it's going to be on Tuesday. Any questions, Michael, you have, or anything that didn't make sense to you? No, of course, you're welcome. If you remember something, text me or email me anytime. And I would appreciate, guys, if you do the review for me. All you need to do is scan the QR codes and put my name. Can you type my name on the chat? So because my name is not on the drop down menu, I know. So that's
Ignite, what number?
6. You just need to press. Got it. Okay. Yeah, just press got it. Okay. Yeah, that's my name, guys, over there. So you're not going to find it in the drop-down menu. You can just put it in. Even if you put a review for me last time, it's appreciated because every class is different. It has to have its own review, and it will be under LA Coastal for where it was. And
So on the instructor, click a drop down.
I'm not going to be under there. You're going to have to put me in manually. You have to put my name.
But I did this. It doesn't let me to enter.
Oh.
I look if I could click. If I click there,
Okay.
the list comes up again. It doesn't give me to type it in.
I don't know why. I don't know.
It's put there, look, and then I just have to click the name, but it doesn't give me the action to input the name. You know what I mean?
Okay. Do you know why? Dan, that's.
See, I did it again, but it doesn't give me the.
Yeah, I know.
Not on here, so I can't click on it.
Okay, now you can put it in. I don't know if we click that. Did you need to put that or that's?
No, your name right here.
Yeah. Just secure because I clicked a number by mistake here. So put your number. I'm not going to look, but you just put it.
The only one I know is your last name. So hard.
I know. Yeah.
Outstanding. After 25 years, you learn something new every day.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Every day, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great question.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. And you're very smooth and relaxing and not distracting because there's some instructors that can be distracting.
Yeah.
You just have to flow. I like it.
Yeah. And I try to be concise and to the point, you know. Yeah. And next class is going to be very interesting, guys. So yeah, you're going to enjoy it.
What's the next one?